Living off-grid in Alaska and the road is 2 miles away from our house, how do we handle emergencies? Well, thank the good Lord above, in over 7.5 years we have lived out here, we have not had a personal need for emergency services. But that does not mean that we do not have a plan in place and also experience running the system to know how it's going to work. Take today, for example. My husband is out enjoying his morning on the porch and he receives a text from our neighbor, who ran into a bit of a serious situation on the trail with his four-wheeler. Ryan immediately grabbed his coat, was on his wheeler and out the door, and I called 911. Which is another reason why Ryan and I, by practice, are up and fully dressed from head to toe, including boots, every day as soon as we are awake, and stay that way until we go to bed at night. Because you never know when something's going to happen, and you've got to be ready to get out the door. Anyway, back to the situation at hand today. Like I said, Ryan was outside just doing his normal morning routine, enjoying the day and things like that, and he received a text that the neighbor needed some major help. I didn't have any full details, but I do know the neighbor, I do know about where he was on the trail, I do know what the general injury was, and I do know to call 911 and where they need to meet. Now, knowing that the ambulance is only going to be able to make it to about 1.5 miles within our house because they can only drive in about half a mile on the trailhead, we also called my father-in-law, who has a truck that can drive all the way down to the railroad. So Ryan left the house to go attend to the scene. I called 911. I gave all of the details, and while I was on 911 with them, they said, okay, we have your coordinates of where you are right now, and we're looking at the satellite, and there appears to be a house with a few outbuildings. Is that where you want us to meet you? I said, no, the guy is somewhere between my house and the road up here, and I gave him the address for the road, and I said, I need you guys to meet us at the road. My husband is picking him up. He's going to transport him via four-wheeler to my father-in-law's truck, who will then drive him the extra mile out to meet you guys at the road. And they said, okay, yep, great, answer a few more questions for us and we'll meet you there. Now, due to other situations and details and things like that I'm not going to get into, when the paramedics arrived on the scene, they actually were picked up by my father-in-law, brought in to the man himself on the trail, and amongst all the group, they decided that the best method of transport was actually helicopter evacuation. So they called in Life Flight. It took about 45 minutes. Thank God everybody was on the scene and it was not a life-threatening injury. Turns out they had to load him up on a stretcher and walk him over to where the truck was parked at the railroad anyways, and then from the truck they drove to meet the helicopter. But he is now loaded up and he is on his way and in good, capable hands. As for our personal plans here in our home, 1, keep in mind I am a retired RN, so basic first aid care, I have a good handle on. 2, we can call 911 if we can transport the person, then we will meet them at the trailhead just like the plan was today. 3, if transport is not possible, like I said, they asked for my coordinates. They knew exactly where I was standing, and there is a landing area cleared for them half a mile down the trail that they can bring a helicopter to. And we have made it a personal responsibility to make sure that we have first aid kits in our house, including trauma packs with tourniquets, and plenty of other supplies and knowledge to be able to take care of ourselves until help arrives.